This period, you get to vote in a mock presidential election. It is part of the social science department's curriculum during election years. Before you vote in the mock election, we want to inform you about the candidates' positions on important issues. The issues we choose are as follows. 1. Immigration. 2. COVID-19. 3. Violent crime. 4. The economy. And 5. Healthcare. Cadet Sergeant Major Matthew Worrell will give us information on former Vice President Joe Biden. Worrell, what do you have for us?
On the economy, Joe Biden says he will mobilize the talent, grit, and innovation of American people and the full power of the federal government to bolster American industrial and technological strength and ensure the future is made in all of America by all of America's workers. He believes that American workers can outcompete anyone, but their government needs to stand for them. He does not buy for 1 second that the vitality of the U.S. manufacturing is a thing of the past. On the topic of healthcare, President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act into law, with Vice President Biden standing by his side, and made history because Obamacare, over 100 million people will no longer have to worry that an insurance company will deny coverage or charge higher premiums just because they have a pre-existing condition, whether cancer or diabetes or heart disease or a mental health challenge. Insurance companies can no longer set annual or lifetime limits on coverage. Roughly 20 million additional Americans obtained a peace of mind that comes with health insurance. Young people who are on transition from school to a job have the option to stay covered by their parents until the age of 26. But every day over the past 9 years, the Affordable Care Act has been under relentless attack. On the topic of COVID-19, since the start of the mounting national health crisis, Joe Biden has laid out what he would do as president to address this crisis. To ensure working families, small businesses, communities will get the help that they need and provide frontline essential workers the tools to do their jobs safely. Provide clear, consistent, evidence-based national guidance for how communities should navigate the pandemic and the resources for schools, small businesses, and families to make it through. Biden feels that implementing mask mandates nationwide would benefit us by working with governors and mayors and asking the American people to do what they do best, step up in a time of crisis. Crime and criminal justice are other areas where Biden sees potential for improvement as a nation. He says today too many people are incarcerated in the United States and too many of them are black and brown. To build a safe and healthy communities, we need to rethink who we're sending to jail, how we treat them, how they will get help and healthcare, education, jobs, and housing, and how they will successfully rejoin society after they serve their time. We can reduce the number of people incarcerated in the country while reducing crime. No one should be incarcerated for drug use alone. Instead, they should have diverted to drug courts and treatment, reducing the number of people incarcerated. This will reduce the federal spending on incarceration. These savings should be reinvested in the communities impacted by mass incarceration. Our criminal justice system cannot be just unless we root out the racial, gender, and income-based disparities in the system. Additionally, women and children are uniquely impacted by criminal justice system, and the system needs to address the unique needs. Our criminal justice system must be focused on redemption and rehabilitation, making sure formerly incarcerated individuals have the opportunity to be productive members of society. It is not only the right thing to do, but it will also grow our economy. Lastly, Biden believes his foreign policy experience will benefit our nation. He says that America needs to restore its dignified leadership at home and respected leadership on the world stage. He believes that America will lead by example and rally the world to meet our common challenges that no one nation can face on its own. From climate change to nuclear proliferation and aggression to transnational terrorism, he believes that we need to reinvigorate our own democracy and strengthen the coalition of democracies that stand with us. Restore moral leadership immediately and the horrific practice of separating families at the border and holding immigrant children in for profit prisons, and terminate the travel ban against Muslim majority countries, and reaffirm the ban on torture and restore greater transparency in the military operations, including policies instituted during the Obama-Biden administration to reduce civilian casualties, bring back the words climate change, return the phrase nation of immigrants to the mission statement of our citizenship and immigration services, because that is who we are. And we need to revitalize our national commitment to advancing human rights and democracy around the world.
We also looked into the same issues for President Trump. These issues are the most important issues to American voters, according to Pew Research. Matt, take it away.
Beginning with the economy. Trump says it has come roaring back to life under him. The stock market has hit record high after record high, helping more Americans build wealth and secure their futures. Through needed tax cuts and reform, the administration will bring back jobs to the country. On the topic of healthcare, Trump says that Obamacare is hurting American families, farmers, and small businesses with skyrocketing health insurance costs. Moreover, soaring deductibles and co-pays have made already unaffordable plans unusable. Close to half of the U.S. counties are projected to have only one health insurer on their exchanges in 2018. Replacing Obamacare will force insurance companies to compete for their customers with lower costs and higher quality service. On coronavirus, Trump has said, "My administration will stop at nothing to save lives and shield the vulnerable. I took early action to cut off travel from China, built the world's leading testing system from nothing, enacted mitigation measures to slow the spread, mobilized public and private sectors to secure needed supplies, took action to protect the vulnerable Americans, launched effort to deliver a vaccine and therapeutics in record time, provided support to workers and businesses, and paved the way for reopening to get America working again, surged resources to hotspots as they arose, and confronted China as the origin of the virus." Trump feels that violent crime is something that all Americans care about. He understands that safe communities and low crime levels don't happen by accident. To ensure public safety, the administration has taken significant steps in its first year to restore the rule of law and forge new partnerships with state and local law enforcement agencies, encourage respect for officers nationwide, and adopt aggressive strategies for tackling gang and drug-related violence. Continued work to support law enforcement will help reduce violent crime to historic lows. Lastly, foreign policy is a major concern for President Trump. President Trump is bolstering American influence by leading a coalition of strong independent nations to promote security, prosperity, and peace, both within American borders and beyond. The promise of a better future will come in part from reasserting American sovereignty and the right of all nations to determine their own futures.
Well, a lot to think about. In your ANA Warriors email, you have a Google form that allows you to vote in ANA's mock election. Your vote is due today by 3 p.m., and the results will be announced in the bulletin tomorrow. We believe that the issues we examined are important to all of us, so choose wisely. If you guys have any more questions about the issues, the candidates, or the mock election, please see Mr. Hall in room 404. Have fun and see you soon.